Okay, hi guys, this is the next paint over video, and I'm doing it for someone called let me see, Peace and Violence, and they submitted a painting that has a story. Check it out in the link in description. It's much more interesting with the story. I think any painting is more interesting when it has a backstory, and it just makes a better piece of work, which I don't do as often as I should. Anyway, so the first thing I looked at was the main figure's gesture, which seemed a little bit off to me, like a little stiff. I don't know exactly what the artist was going for, so I'm just doing it how I thought it should be. So also the back seemed kind of long and in an odd angle compared to the hips and legs. I don't know why I used blue. I think it's mainly just so I could see what was going on. Then trying to get a more dynamic gesture by having the left side of him more pinched and then the right side kind of stretched out with his right hand stretching out and his right leg stretching out towards the corner. And then he's kind of resting on the tree root with his left hand and then like pressing into the ground with his left knee. And I really wanted to emphasize the way that the figure is like pushing the sword into the tree. By the way, the tree is supposed to be like a magical tree that heals the evil that's in the sword, as far as I understood. And I think the main figure you see is like a hero, and the one in the background, I don't quite remember. Anyway, please read this story. It is very interesting. I did this a while ago, so that's why I don't remember. I'm going to read it after this. Okay, so I went back to DeviantArt so that I could look up the story, and the title of this painting, the original, is called Beware Blind Men with Cursed Swords. And this is what it says in their description. Hey there everyone, allow me to present yet another book cover that my cruel overlords have coerced me into drawing for them. Okay, I'm going to skip this. Where's the story? The scene from the story in question, wherein our dashing protagonist tries to... secret a rather nefarious sword inside a heartwood tree. So I guess he's pressing it in, like hiding it in the tree. And in brackets it says, a species renowned for their ability to draw out curses and evil magic in general. It's been jabbering at him. Oh, the sword talks, maybe? Non-stop for about a week now, and all he wants is some shut-eye. And I'm not entirely sure that it's going to happen. Named Jura, who alone sensed the evil lurking with the sword, and because of his inhuman heritage has slight resistance to it. He, being the morally constrained sort, takes it upon himself to steal the sword and cart it off to get destroyed. Okay, so somebody found the sword, and then he knows it's evil, so he steals it so that he can save everyone from its evilness. So that's the backstory, at least part of it. The whole story is linked in their DeviantArt, so if you want to read the whole thing, go to the Peace in Violence on DeviantArt, and then look up Beware Blind Men with Cursed Swords, and you'll find it. I'll link it in the description as well. Then I copied the scabbard, because I think it looked fine. Didn't want to redraw it because I didn't want to change anything. I changed the belt because it just didn't fit the way I had drawn it. So also always remember to make it look like it's going around the torso, like it's a circle, not just a straight line or a 2D it's easy to make things flatten out if you don't really think about it when you're drawing it. And I tried to keep the same colors as the original for the pants and the boots and the clothes and all that stuff. And then I'm using the clone brush, the clone stamp. It's a tool in Photoshop. So you can just select the layer that you are using, like the red leaves and stuff, and then hold down Alt and click, and then it'll clone the exact thing that's there wherever else you want it. That didn't make much sense, but if you want to know exactly how to do it, just YouTube it. It's really easy. It's called a clone stamp. And then I copied the sword, and then I had to match the hand to the sword better. I kind of repainted the tree a little bit just because, I mean, the original tree is fine. I just thought it didn't really match the rest of what I had drawn, so, because my style's so different that it's much more loose, and the original is much tighter, so I didn't think it would have fit together. Not that one's better than the other. So here I'm adding the shadows and the ripped shirt and some highlights. And it made his head a lot bigger, and actually his shoulders and head are much bigger. It also makes the figure much more prominent in the image, which he is the main character, so I thought maybe that would be a good idea, but once again, it's just a choice. Another way of thinking about it is like if you have an object that's red, say like the leaves, next to the tree, I always have the red mixed in with the tree colors so that it kind of, I mean, it does that in real life to an extent. It'll reflect a little bit of light and color onto the object that's closest to it. So it'll just kind of be more harmonious color-wise and not be just like really separate individual colors, which once again, if that's what you like, then that's fine. But for me, I like it when there's more harmony. At least I try to make it happen, but I'm still learning, so that's what all the masters say when I watch them on YouTube. Another way of thinking about it is like if you have an object that's red, say like the leaves, next to the tree, so always remember to flip the canvas so you can tell if you're making any mistakes that you got used to by just staring at it for so long. And here I am adding, this is a new thing I saw. I haven't done it that much. I used the soft round brush on a separate layer and added some shadows on the background. It's kind of like a haze, and then you can go back and erase what you don't want with a soft round brush as the eraser. I'm not sure how much I like it, but another experiment I did was with these leaf brush in different sizes and different colors on the tree, because I didn't want to go in and paint the individual leaves, which the original artist had the patience to do, but I don't have that kind of patience, so I just used a brush. And it's very different looking from the original, but I hope that's okay. I also wanted to give it more different colors, more variation. It helps give it more depth and feel a little more natural. I know it's a magical tree, but I thought it could be a little more tree-like. Like the lines in the originals, they're very clumped together. Like, that can happen with some trees, but anyway, I decided to break it up a little bit. So then I almost forgot about the figure in the background. Again, I just copied it from the original and changed the color a little bit so it would match my version of the background. I didn't do anything to him because I thought he looked fine. Because it's so far away, you can barely see anything. Also, I wanted to keep the background simple and darker so that your eye doesn't get confused where to look first, which I have that problem a lot in my paintings, is I put detail everywhere so you don't know where to look, which is the same problem with the original artists, I think. There's so much detail everywhere that you don't know where to focus on. So that's all I've done, and I hope it was at least interesting for peace and violence, just to see what someone else's take on their pieces. I'm not saying it's better or worse or whatever, but just a different idea. It was really fun to do because it's something I never would have done on my own, because obviously I didn't know the story, etc. I do like this kind of topic because it's fantasy, swords, and forests, so obviously that's something I like. And if you want your drawing or painting painted over, please submit it to my website. The links will be in the description below. And thanks for watching. Bye. So I'm just gonna check and see who's next, because I can't tell from my downloaded images. I think the next one is Seeks. I'm not sure. They submitted a... Oh, they asked me to choose one. That's never easy. And I think I chose one called Suman. If Seeks sees this, I think they're next. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's it. And then the person after that is Freren Hagsolb. I can't pronounce it. And then I'll go back to like Miasma Method, which is the first one I did. They submitted 2, so I'll go back to the second one they submitted. And that's how I'll do it, because just to get one from everyone and then go back and do the second one from people who did submit more than one. Anyway, these are really fun to do, and I'm getting less nervous about the voiceover because I don't care anymore how bad it is. I mean, if you don't want to listen and you still want to watch it, you can always find your favorite song and play it over and mute mine. So, okay.